Testing, testing. 1, 2. Testing, testing. 1, 2. I was just thinking about some shit today, and it kind of ties in with today's topic a little bit, but it also could just tie into shit your everyday life, you know. And some people might notice, and some people might not, but trying to please everyone, trying to play this Mr. Nice Guy or Mr. Nice Girl shit, it's just a recipe for like stress, man. You know, it's like this evil concoction you're mixing up of stress, fucking shit, misery, and everything else you can think of, like frustration, all that shit. So, with that being said, it's kind of best to, just be yourself. You know what I mean? And that way, it'll feel good to know who really fucks with that. You know what I'm saying? Who really fucks with you. Who's down with you. You know what I mean? For you. You know, because beautiful souls, they recognize other beautiful souls. You know what I mean? And so I hope that if you're hearing this right now, you keep being authentic and you keep being yourself and you keep being original and you keep being genuine. Because if you keep doing that shit, your tribe, your people, they'll find you. They'll eventually find you. And they'll love you for who the fuck you are. Straight like that. Something I was thinking about today. You know, I know there's a lot of youngsters out there feeling like they got to deal with and that wasn't just targeted towards youngsters, no shit like that. We weren't really targeting anybody specific, but it was really just targeted to anybody who needed to hear it. But I know there's a lot of youngsters out there who are dealing with the pressures of trying to fit in and all that shit, right? And a lot of the times, that same pressure don't let up just because you're a little bit older. It might become harder to find friends, right? And honestly, that might even be a myth. I think it's just where you're at, what you're doing, who you're around, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But and I might be wrong, but um, you know, I think that finding your tribe is important. And I don't want to stick on this part of of the subject for too long. But if you're new to this stream, if you're new to this channel, my name is Cloudy Wings. That's CLOUDYWINGZ. And if you type that into Google right now, a whole bunch of shit will pop up. Some of it may be true, some of it may not be as true as you think it is, because some people write shit about you, or other people write things for their own personal gain at one point in time that may or may not win in their favor. It's a whole shit show, right? But I am not the shit show. When you're signed to record labels or when you work with different companies, certain things happen, right? But regardless, if you've never been here before, welcome in. Welcome in, man. This channel is a little bit different. It's a little bit different than your everyday Twitch stream. It's a little bit different than shit. Even some YouTube streams. And on this channel, we kind of just like to get real. You know what I mean? Like, we have real conversations. We discuss trending topics, important topics. Things you don't usually hear on a day-to-day basis without reading a damn book or without going to go talk to a professional, you know. So yeah, it's a little real conversation. But first and foremost, I want to thank all of y'all for joining me tonight. It means a lot to me. Whether you've been following the Cloudy Wings brand for a while, or if this is your first time here, I'm glad you tuned in. Today we're gonna be diving into a really tough, but I feel as though it's a really important topic too. But before we jump in, I just want to make a quick note, right? I feel like I gotta make this quick note for real, because you just never know what people's gone through, and this is it's a sensitive subject, right? Not to bring in the whole mushy shit, but this is a sensitive subject, and it can be triggering for some people, especially if you're currently in a relationship with someone who has certain traits, or if you've experienced emotional or psychological abuse in the past. But first and foremost, I will be speaking from a place of care, right? It's not like I'm speaking from a place of judgment or speaking from a place of fuck you or any of that shit, right? I am speaking from a place of, hey, I give a fuck, and excuse me. And I encourage you to take care of yourself during this conversation. Obviously, all the time. Self-care and self-love is very important. But during this conversation, if you're in a place where, something is difficult to hear, or, it triggers you or pushes a button or whatever, it's okay to shut me the fuck up. It's okay to hit the mute button. It's okay to, say, hey, you know what? All right, niggas, I'm out. Hit the X and exit out, man. Go wherever you're going and enjoy the rest of your night, So, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Obviously, I'm not giving you permission. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what the hell you can do. But you just don't forget. Just make sure you don't forget, So, let's get into it. So there's going to be different sections of tonight's stream, and we'll start by talking about how to recognize if your partner might have narcissistic personality disorder. Now, this is important to note only on some real ass shit. Only a mental health professional can make an official diagnosis. So don't run with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I am not a professional mental health person. That's not who I am, right? But there are definitely signs and red flags that you can look out for, and we're gonna shorten it up because I don't really feel like saying narcissistic personality disorder this whole fucking stream. So we're gonna call it NPD. That's NPD. Okay, but NPD is a complex disorder. Like it's real serious. It's real difficult to understand sometimes, but I'm gonna give you guys some of the key characteristics first. That kind of tend to show up in relationships, narcissistic relationships, anyway, and kind of go from there. You know, I think one of the most obvious signs is probably like an inflated sense of self importance. Yeah. Like your partner might always talk about their accomplishments, always talk about their talents, their many talents, or their many intricate abilities, or just themselves in general. They just always talk about themselves. And they'll expect constant admiration from you. Like they'll expect constant like, oh God, you're so great. Like you're so wonderful. Oh my God, I can't believe you can do all those things. You know what I mean? Like, and they might expect to be treated as, I guess, special or above others, or and even if their behavior doesn't necessarily warrant it, they'll still feel this way. And this can kind of look like exaggerating achievements or acting like they're entitled to shit because of how special they are. So just an idea of what I think is like one of the most obvious things to like look for. you know I feel like another really obvious one of narcissism is the the struggle with empathy. Like they almost like they give you kind of like that cold serial killer vibe when you're going through some shit. Like which kind of, so empathy, it kind of means like they have a hard time understanding or caring about how other people feel. And definitely you know, if your partner always dismisses your emotions, or like minimizes your concerns, or seems, I don't know, unable to put themselves in your shoes, or if you're having like a bad day, you're going through some shit, and they're having a hard time like lifting you up, motivating you, to kind of get you out of that funk, or even attempting to make you feel better. This is a big, big, big red flag, and it can feel like your feelings like don't mean shit to them, like straight up, like that's how that shit'll make you feel, like damn, bro, like you don't give a fuck about me, huh, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying, like for real. And obviously we kind of spoke on this briefly earlier, but people with NPD, they crave this excessive admiration and validation. Like they might always, fish for compliments. That's an old school saying. I haven't heard that in a while. But, they might always fish for compliments, or act hurt to see if you care, or, act out to get attention. And if you don't constantly boost their ego, or stroke their shaft, nah, I'm just fucking around. But if you stop praising them, they're gonna react with shit like anger, obviously frustration, and anger go hand in hand. But they'll start guilt tripping you. They'll start guilt tripping you into giving them what they want for real. And that shit is wild. Let me see. What's another thing? Oh, another thing is another thing to look for, really. is when your partner seems to, what do you call it? I don't know why I keep thinking solicit. I keep thinking of the word solicit, but I know that's not the word I'm looking for. Exploit. Yeah, I think that's a good word. So another thing to look for is if your partner, they always like seem to exploit you or other people for personal gain. You know what I mean? Like okay, so for example, this could be using people without regard for their feelings or their needs, or like they may like manipulate situations to make themselves look better or to benefit from others' resources and connections. You know, whether that, and it could be anything, whether that's, emotional, financial, or anything else, it's just like exploiting a motherfucker, and a, whether it's a woman or a man, right? Whether it's a girl or a guy, a person with NPD might even believe that they're entitled to special treatment, like no matter what, like literally no matter what, And I know I spoke on some of this earlier, but when I say special treatment, I'm talking about privileges or recognition, you know, that others aren't. This can manifest in big ass ways, like, excuse me, like expecting you to excuse me, expecting you to drop everything for them, expecting you to, just do what they want, or in small ways, like thinking like they deserve to be treated better than anyone else, and especially anyone else in the relationship. You, nigga, they want to be treated better than you, and another thing, if you ever noticed that your partner can't handle even the slightest bit of criticism or correction, that's a huge fucking red flag. Because narcissists tend to be very sensitive to anything that makes them feel less than perfect, right? They'll probably become, super defensive, angry, start talking shit, and shit. They might even retaliate in some sick ass ways, the type of ways that make you that'll make you feel bad for pointing out some shit. You know what I'm saying? like damn, I wish I didn't even say shit. Fuck, bitch didn't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, and that shit's shitty. Yeah, it's fucking shitty. Um, Another big thing that narcissists do is, and I know it's like, I hate this word. It's like this modern day, fucking word, right? And it's gaslighting, right? At least it sounds modern. I think it came out in this day and age, like with the youngsters and shit like that. I don't know, but it's gaslighting, right? And narcissists love to gaslight, and they love to make you question your reality or your perception. They might, they might deny shit. They might deny shit they said or deny shit they did, even though they just said the shit or just did the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they and they use that to try to make you feel like you're going crazy or like you can't trust your own judgment. And to be honest, over time, this can wear you down emotionally and mentally if you're not careful. And because this is a dangerous game. A narcissistic behavior can lead to a lot of other shit, like, domestic violence. It can lead to, just crashing out, man. People crash out. People, lose their lives. People ruin their fucking lives. All based off of relationships and romance and love and, life partners and girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives, and that's why you have to know how to deal with someone who has narcissistic personality disorder. Like, you have to. And so with that being said, I think that's something we should talk about, how to deal with a person who has NPD. So I don't know, let's say you've been hanging around, or you guys, maybe you just been hanging around this new person, or you guys been together for years, or you know, you guys are locked in, married, whatever. But let's say you recognized these traits in your partner, or you're suspecting that they might actually have, or they might actually be a narcissist, right? And, and when I was saying have, I was gonna say NPD, but it just sounds so fucking weird. I don't know why. It just sounds like a police department. You know what I'm saying? Like, welcome to Narnia Police Department. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know. But anyway, but once you like kind of, you start recognizing traits and you start suspecting shit, the next step I would say is figuring out how to fucking handle it first. Because dealing with a narcissist can be really fucking hard. It can be really fucking draining. And it's important to protect your mental and emotional well-being throughout this process. Now, I'm gonna get real with you. Like, if you were the narcissist and you figure out they're a narcissist, right? And you didn't know before, but you just started like noticing shit, man, if you don't love this motherfucker yet, bro, get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there. If you don't love him yet, like, if there's no like, there's been no profession of love. There's been, you guys aren't, making love. You guys aren't, you guys ain't got this going on, that going on. You guys don't share this or share that, and you guys don't actually love each other. Like, man, get the fuck on, man. Get the fuck on and go find you something better. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. But with that being said, you got to protect yourself, right? So, one of the most important things you can do to kind of protect yourself as well, but also establish clear and firm boundaries. Because people with narcissism often push boundaries because they think they can get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, they think that who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's about how you want to be treated, what you're willing to tolerate, or your personal needs, you need to communicate your boundaries and hold them to that shit. Even when they try to test you or violate your boundaries, shit like that, like, you really got to put your foot down, man, and stand firm on that shit. Stand on what the fuck you talking about. You know what I'm saying? And for example, if your partner has a tendency to, I don't know, name call you or belittle you when they're mad, you can set a boundary like, okay, if you're gonna speak to me like that, I'll walk the fuck away until you can learn to talk to me respectfully. Right? And I know some people might hear that and they might think like, oh, that could open up that could open up doors for another argument or more problems or whatever the case may be. But what you don't want to do is engage in power struggles. Because people with NPD, they thrive on power and control. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with money, power, and respect. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm pretty old school. If you don't know where that's from, then I feel bad for you. But narcissists, they thrive on that shit, and they like they often want to be the one who's right at all costs. Like, it don't matter what the fuck it is, at all times, at all costs. And if you try to challenge them or make a point, they might get defensive or escalate the situation, And so, with that being said, you want to try to avoid that shit at all costs too. You know what I'm saying? Because power struggles are exhausting for one, like, and the shit don't get you nowhere at all. The shit will not get you any fucking where, straight up. Like, literally nowhere are you going to find a power struggle that puts you in a position that's good. And if your partner, your narcissistic ass partner, tries to manipulate or argue with you, you might just want to, stay calm and just let them know, like, I'm not about to engage in this shit right now. Just walk away. Just remove yourself from the conversation. Like, I'm not about to do this shit right now. I got bigger fish to fry. I'm thinking about other shit. I got, like, what the fuck are you even doing? Like, what? No. And it's very important that you know how to do these things. I'm not gonna say, like, practice. I don't know where the fuck you're gonna practice. Find a spare narcissist on the fucking corner or some shit. Like, hey bro, can I practice on you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fucking know, and I doubt you're gonna do it in the mirror. Like, that's fucking weird. But just try again. And shit, just implement it in real life shit. You know what I mean? And hopefully this shit works out for you. Because, man, when you're in a relationship with someone who has narcissistic traits, it's so easy to get caught up in their bullshit. Man, it is so easy to lose sight of what type of relationship you're actually trying to have, and get caught up in their drama, and get caught up in their needs, and get caught up in their emotional fucking roller coasters and shit. You know what I mean? But you need to kind of prioritize your own well-being. Straight up, like, even if you care about this motherfucker, like, you need to say fuck that shit, man, and really prioritize yourself. Practice self-care in whatever way works best for you, whether that's through therapy, spending time with good friends, spending time with family, shit, pursuing hobbies, just taking a moment to kind of just chill, just chill and recharge and power up. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to make sure you're putting yourself first. You got to, because with the narcissist, your emotional health can get overlooked. Like, you'll be so busy arguing with this motherfucker that you won't even realize that you're going crazy, or you won't even realize that you're getting depressed, or you won't even realize that like, you stop doing certain shit, or man, like, shit can get real ugly real fast in that situation. And sometimes it's helpful for the narcissist to seek therapy. I know you're thinking, like, oh, they're a narcissist. Why would they think that they need therapy, right? But especially if they aren't open to it. You know what I mean? And it can be hard to get somebody with narcissism into therapy and shit. But so if that's not an option, then get therapy for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like standardized right there. Like, you got to get therapy for yourself for sure. Because a therapist can help. It can help you build strategies around like not even just that situation, but just in life, period. And not even just any strategies. Like they can help you build coping strategies. They can help you learn how to set boundaries. They can help you kind of take back control of your emotional fucking life, man. You know what I mean? And you can learn a lot from therapy that a lot of people don't even realize, and mental strength is really strong. Mental strength is really strong. What the fuck am I fucking saying? Mental strength is really important. Strong. What the fuck? Man, I'm finna end the stream right now. What the fuck? Nah. But if you're in a relationship with someone who has, narcissistic traits, and they're willing to work on the relationship, because if you're with someone who has narcissistic traits and they're not even trying to work on those shit, or they don't even care, they're just like so blinded by their own bullshit, they can't even attempt to try on the relationship, then I would say you guys are fucked. But if you have a narcissist that's a narcissist, I'm acting like it's a fucking pet or some shit. If you have a narcissist at home, feed him 5 times a day and suck his dick 3. But not, what man's gonna deny that? But and then you know what the opposite is for the females. I don't have to tell you. But anyway, if you're in a relationship with someone who has narcissistic traits and they're willing to really put in the work for the relationship, couples therapy can easily be an option. And I'm gonna throw this out there, but a lot of churches have couples therapy for fucking free. Couples group therapy for fucking free. But it is important to find a therapist or a therapy session or whatever that understands like the dynamics of toxic relationships, understands the dynamics of mental abuse, understands the dynamics and the complexities of narcissistic personality disorder. It's very important to find, people who, even if they somewhat understand the shit, that way you don't like, because if people don't understand the shit, then it's like you're gonna go in there and, you might be a lone shark up in that bitch. Okay, so next up, let's talk about, and I know we kind of touched on this and shit, but let's talk about what to say, right? Let's talk about what to say when your partner starts showing narcissistic behaviors, because it's I bet it's super easy, right? It's super easy to feel like lost or unsure in the moment of these narcissistic behaviors, but there's ways to kind of communicate that can reduce the bullshit, and also protect your mental health or your emotional health. And one of the best ways to approach these conversations, if that's what it is, it's a conversation, because an argument, it's already turned up and shit. But one way to approach these conversations is by focusing on your own feelings and your own personal experience, right? Because narcissists, they'll become defensive once they feel like they're being blamed or once they feel like they're being criticized. So it's better to kind of create shit in a way that's about you rather than accusing them directly. Because narcissists they don't take kindly to accusations, and it'll turn into a whole fucking shit show, right? So, for example, instead of saying you're being selfish, maybe say I feel ignored when my feelings aren't considered in our conversations. This different approach to the shit takes the blame off of them for one, but it also makes it easier for them to hear your perspective. It makes it easier for them to put themselves in your shoes and see the world through your eyes, right? For a brief second, even if it's for a brief fucking second. But you got to remember to stay calm when you talk to them. Like if you get emotional, and I said when you talk to them, not him, but when you talk to them, if you get emotional or like you raise your voice and you start getting loud as shit, it can escalate the situation and lead to defensiveness or manipulation or even an ass whooping. Real shit. DVs do happen. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And that's no fucking funny joke. But, straight up. So it's best to kind of keep your tone steady, and steady and bland and neutral and shit. And even if you're like you're really fucked up over there, like even if you're like pissed off and you're like to the fucking edge, or you're like right there, you know what I mean? And be direct about what you need. Be direct about what you need, and be direct about what you want from them. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, for example, that would be saying shit like, I don't know, I need you to listen to me when I'm speaking. Or I need us to have a conversation without interruptions. Yeah. Interruptions could lead to so much bullshit. Oh my God. And I ain't even gonna call it bullshit. It can lead to so much fuck shit. It can lead to so much shit. Being interrupted and just feeling like you're never gonna get your point across, like they don't care what you have to say, like you just feel so disrespected, And ladies, if there's any ladies watching this, most men prefer respect and peace over a lot of different shit. You can ask any man on this earth, what would he rather get from his lifelong partner? Long-term partner, lifelong partner. It's going to be respect and peace of mind. And those can be opened up into a multitude of millions of little subjects that we could speak on about all fucking night. But we're not going to do that. Also, if your partner starts being like what's the word, manipulative, right? If your partner starts being dismissive, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, nigga. Like, that type of shit. Like, it's important to set. Here, hold on, yo. Let me put this shit up real quick. Actually, I'll just chuck it over there. All right. It's important, like, if your partner starts acting, like manipulative, or dismissive, you gotta set clear expectations. You know what I mean? Like, if they're making you feel guilty for some shit that you didn't even fucking do, you might say some shit like, I am not going to accept being blamed for some shit that's not my fucking fault. Okay, maybe you should leave the cuss words out. Maybe you should say it normally. Let's start that over. Okay. What did I say? Okay. I'm not going to accept being blamed for something that's not my fault. So let's talk about the issue calmly. You might even want to add, like, calmly and respectfully, right? And if that doesn't work, man, then you have got a full on narcissistic piece of shit on your hands. And they're walking around this bitch being toxic as fuck, and they're in full narcissistic mode. Okay. So if the last thing I said doesn't even make a dent in that full on narcissistic mode, sometimes the best thing you can do is remove yourself from the situation. Straight up. So cuz like don't let these motherfuckers drag you into an argument. You know what I mean? Or try to make you feel small, or like on some weird ass shit, like try to like attack your character, try to assassinate your character or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't fall for that shit, man. Like, you could even say some shit like, I'm not gonna continue this conversation until we can both speak to each other respectfully. Like, you got me fucked up. Okay, don't say that you got me fucked up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But don't say that you got me fucked up shit. Just say, without the cussing, without the aggression, you say, I'm not gonna continue this conversation with your ass. Fuck. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna continue this conversation. Okay, let's do it calmly. Okay. I am not gonna continue this conversation until we can both speak respectfully. Okay? And just walk away. Just walk off. Don't slam doors. Don't, you know, don't even fucking fart. Just walk off. And I know this topic isn't like, like a light topic or anything like that, right? We're it's important. We're covering an important topic right now. And this topic might actually save somebody from something. Don't know what it is, but it could possibly. And that's the beauty in this conversation. Because relationships are fucking tough, man. They're tough enough as they are, like without all the bullshit. But when you're dealing with, certain, bullshit, oh man, like it can really take a toll on your well being for real. Like when you're dealing with shit that feels just like snaky, slimy, or like just like real manipulative, disrespectful, or just emotionally draining. Like, man, that shit ain't no joke, right? And with that being said, let's dive into how to deal with some of these difficult behaviors in relationships, right? The kind of behaviors that can leave you feeling, like I said, disrespected, unheard, emotionally exhausted. There's a bunch of different ways to navigate this shit with clarity, with self respect, and with boundaries. There's a bunch of different ways, right? And but first and foremost, I want to remind you that these complex issues and are very, very diverse, right? These complex issues are very diverse, and they're very I can't even think of it. I just had a brain fart right now. Literally, my brain is farting. in my brain, in my head right now. But I just want to remind you that these are complex issues. And every situation, every situation is unique. Everybody's situation, is different than the next. And I think that I should probably share like some general strategies. But if you are dealing with any of this shit like on a deeper level, you need to go see somebody. And if this shit has turned into something else, you need to call 911. Seriously. Don't care. Don't give a fuck. You need to, man. Or gal or whoever the hell you are. You need to call 911 if you're getting your ass whooped or beat on or spit on or kicked in the throat. I don't know. There's all types of different ways to fuck somebody up. But if you're getting fucked up out here, nah, man, sitting back chilling and taking that shit, it's not the way to go. You know. But if you're dealing with this shit just on, like a deeper level, what I mean? You're dealing with a narcissist, you know what I mean? And it's on the borderline of mental abuse, emotional abuse, but it hasn't gotten physical. It might be helpful to talk to a therapist or a counselor, and if, like I said before, just like kind of a disclaimer, from the attorney general or whoever the hell, if at any point during this stream you feel triggered or overwhelmed, I just want you to remember it's okay to step away. It's okay to kick back. You know what I'm saying? Like, because your mental and emotional health is literally, should be, one of the most important things. Okay. So I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'll kind of try to dive into each little thing that I touched on just a tad bit more. But name calling and belittling behavior are forms of emotional abuse, right? I'm sure that's not hard to figure out, right? But that emotional abuse can really, really eat away at your sense of self-worth. When someone you love and trust uses, fucked up words during a problem that you guys are having, it can feel like you're being snaked or like, it can feel like betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no bullshit. Like over time, it can start to make you question yourself, but it can also start to make you question your partner too. Like, damn, if they'll talk to me like this to my face, imagine how they would snake me or cross me or eventually prove to be disloyal behind my back down the line. You know? And the first, give me a quick second. I felt like Sahara Desert over there. But that reminds me actually of this saying we used to call people in high school like just the homies. We would like if there was always these games where whoever can get the most numbers wins the game or whatever, and then whoever gets the least, you call them Desert Dick. I'm sure you catch the drift. But anyway, the first thing you need to understand is that name calling and belittling and all that shit, and just trying to make somebody feel lower or low, that shit ain't cool in any relationship. I don't give a fuck how angry or upset your partner is. It's important to recognize that, this behavior is a form of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And emotional harm. You know what I mean? Like, and we ain't taking no disrespect, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might feel And when this does happen though, like when you're like into it with your partner a little bit and like you're mad as fuck, but you're not name calling them and you're not like shooting below the belt and you're not like, trying to make them feel like smaller or little or any of that type of shit, like, and they start doing the shit, like, you might feel caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? Or you might even start to internalize the words that they're saying to you, thinking you deserve it or, it's your fault or, damn, like, am I really that? You know what I'm saying? Like, but man, that shit ain't fucking true. These bitch ass, these bitch ass actions and these bitch ass words that they continue to say to you out of hatred, because that's all it is all on them. You know what I mean? Not on you, it ain't on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't got to tolerate that shit. You know what I mean? And everybody ain't going to talk to you like that. Everybody ain't going to get mad and instantly start disrespecting you. You know what I'm saying? Some people actually know how to, like, okay, I'm pissed as fuck right now, but, I ain't going to call you a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm pissed as fuck right now, but I ain't going to call you a loser. I'm pissed as fuck right now, but I ain't going to, like, tell you that everything you're trying in life right now, even though it's not working, that you a failure or that you're broke or that you're this, that, and the third, or it's just fucked up shit, or like your coochie stank when it don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some fucked up shit that people say, right? Um, you know, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, man, it's just this shit ain't cool. Shit ain't fucking cool. And like I said, you don't gotta tolerate the shit. You don't. Because everybody ain't gonna talk to you like that. And you know that. You know that shit. Like, you know that there's people out here who respect the fuck out of you. There's people out here who love the fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? And they would never cross certain boundaries with you. And those are the type of qualities that you have to search for in everybody around you. Not just family, not just, your best homies or friends or homegirls or whatever the hell. But when your partner does start doing that type of shit, you gotta kind of put your foot down and start setting boundaries, right? So for example, and do this calmly. You know what I'm saying? You could say, I'm not gonna continue this conversation if you're gonna insult me. If you're gonna offend me, if you're gonna talk shit to me. You know, it's important to make eye contact and be firm, but also calm. It could, because if you let it slide, you're kind of unintentionally teaching your partner that it's okay to treat you like shit. And there's different forms of treating somebody like shit. Like, it's one thing to like correct your partner or be mad at them or annoyed at them. That's not treating somebody like shit. You know. But when you start like name calling and like calling them out their name and like just talking really cash shit to them, that's treating somebody like shit. And don't let them try to tell you anything different from that. Because the key here is consistency. Every time they cross that line, every time they cross you, you need to get on their ass. You know what I'm saying? And you need to reinforce the boundaries. Because over time, if they understand that these behaviors lead to bad situations, like disengagement, meaning that you're like, I'm done. Or like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, or the shit leads to consequences, like walking away or just leaving where y'all at right now. They might start to realize that this is not a way to communicate with this person who I claim to rock with. You know what I mean? And this person is not going for it. So I better figure out a different way to talk to them or a different way to communicate. And you gotta kind of put your foot down. You know what I'm saying? If somebody talks to you some type of way, you say, you know what? Okay, well, I'm gonna do this then. You wanna talk to me that way? Okay, bet. I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Or, there's a lot of different ways to go around it and go about it. But the one main focus when you're going around this shit and you're going about this shit is, although it's natural to kind of, want to say something back and, kind of defend your character and or retaliate, when somebody's talking shit to you or name calling you, or you know what I mean. But when you engage in a back and forth of, offensive shit or insults or shit talking or whatever, it only escalates the situation. So from 1 second, it can be like this little like, fuck you, haha, fuck you. But then next second, it can become a battle of who can hurt each other more. And that don't solve shit. That only does damage. You know what I mean? That only damages the relationship to the point of no return. And the goal here is to be, is to be a person who can de-escalate the argument, not escalate it. And if you're the person in your relationship who knows how to de-escalate, man, go get you another de-escalator. Straight up, bro. Go get you a person who knows how to de-escalate too. And for I know for I know there's unpopular opinion out there, but contrary to popular opinion, hotheads, people with short fuses, can actually be the de-escalators. It's very, very, very possible. And it's because most people like that have specific buttons, specific triggers. And until you push those triggers or push those buttons, they may try their hardest to de-escalate the situation. Going through the motions and doing everything right until it's like, okay, you continue with this bullshit and then you just did some shit that really pushed my buttons. Now the fuse is blown. But one thing to keep in mind, if your partner is kind of like going off on you, you know what I mean? Like, I just like, tearing into you, like just, man, snapping. You know what I mean? Like, keep your responses minimal. Because you might say, well, first and foremost, you keep your responses minimal with saying shit like, I'm not going to engage in these insults, or I'm not going to engage in this back and forth shit, and then obviously remove yourself from the situation. And if you're stuck in a face-to-face conversation, shit, you can leave the room, you know what I mean? Or you can take a break, or you can go the fuck home, or, all kind of shit. But, and this might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's a healthy way to manage unhealthy behaviors, and I think that we've hit a spot in the stream where it is mandatory that you guys go get your favorite snacks. Go get your favorite snacks, go get comfortable, go get your favorite snacks and relax. Maybe you want a drink. Don't know what you're drinking on. Could be juice, could be alcoholic. But, man, go get comfortable. Go get a snack. Get settled in. Because I got some other stuff to talk about. So with that being said, we will be right back. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Okay, looks good. All right. Hopefully, y'all got them snacks. You know what I'm talking about? But where are we at? Nah, I'm just playing. I know where we at. Come on, come on, come on. Uh, like I said before, I just want to kind of recap on certain stuff before I, take it to the next thing. You gotta remove yourself from the situation, right? And like I said before, if you're in a face-to-face conversation, you can leave the room or just take a break, and obviously this could, feel, it could make you feel a little fucked up at first, but if it's necessary, it's necessary, because it's a healthy thing to do. And once shit is kind of calmed down with you and your partner, it's important to have a conversation. It's important between both y'all, just y'all. It's important to have a conversation about what happened, right? But what happens next as well. Because this is kind of your chance to express how obviously their words made you feel, and with also without getting into the heat of the moment. Like don't start tripping and shit, like triggering yourself and like going off of them. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're just gonna, it's just gonna be a never-ending cycle. But right on, Swaggy Jazzy, for the follow. But when that conversation is happening, it's kind of your chance to express how their words made you feel. And for example, you could say some shit like, "When you called me a loser and a bitch, that shit hurt me. And it made me feel like I wanted to kill you." No, I'm just kidding. No, don't. Do not say that shit. Do not say that. You're going to jail, nigga. For real. But say some shit like, well, not really say some shit, but, like we can agree, we can disagree, we can agree to disagree, and get upset and shit, get mad, but it's not okay for you to call me names. It's not okay for you to talk down to me or belittle me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, tell them like it is. Tell them straight up, And if you got a good partner, someone who might have narcissistic traits, but still cares about you to, a certain extent, or still is open to the conversation, it's a good opportunity to build a healthier kind of. It's a good opportunity to build healthier communication habits with your partner. But if they dismiss your feelings or kind of try to justify their behavior, then that's a complete fucking red flag. Like, fuck that shit, because it shows that they're not taking responsibility for their actions. They're not taking accountability for the words that they chose to use, and that's not fair. That's not fair at all. You deserve better than that. Straight up. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of convenient amnesia. And I'll say it again. Convenient amnesia. But this is when your partner starts forgetting shit that are that are inconvenient for them to remember. If that makes sense. And it's especially when it's something they've said or something they've done that might reflect poorly on them. And this type of shit can be fucking frustrating. Okay? But it's important to woosah. So you can later get the haktwa. You know what I'm talking about? But it's fucking frustrating. And it can also be confusing when your partner denies shit that they said or did, especially when you know what they said or did happened in real life. Like, nigga, you did that shit. Like, don't even try me like that. Like, what the fuck? You think I'm that fucking dumb? You know what I'm saying? Like, but the first step in dealing with convenient amnesia is not doubting your own perception. If that makes sense. Like, what you experienced. Like, don't doubt that shit. You know what the fuck, how it made you feel, what happened, what was said. Don't doubt it. Your memory is valid. And narcissistic or manipulative, I hate this fucking word, manipulative individuals often try to rewrite history because it suits them. They might start to deny shit they've said or done, but especially if they feel guilty or embarrassed or like backed into a corner, and the key here is to stay grounded in your own truth. Like, your truth is, this was said, that was said, yada, yada, yada. You know what fucking was said and done. Right? But you don't have to argue every single point, But when your partner denies something that you know for a fact happened, don't jump the gun and immediately second guess yourself. You know what I mean? If it's a pattern that they do all the time, they start forgetting shit. Like, this is just a way of manipulating you. This is a way of manipulating you into questioning your own memory, making you feel batshit crazy or doubting your own experiences. And that's bullshit. Because, not because, but yeah, it's complete fucking bullshit. And if convenient amnesia is an issue in your relationship, like you start noticing this shit happening, it might help to document the motherfucker. Straight up. I couldn't say it another way. Document that motherfucker. Like, document key conversations or events that are likely to come up. Shit, like you don't need to keep a journal, Obviously, I don't even think journals are in existence anymore. We have notes in our phones, you know what I'm saying? You can just pull out your phone and jot shit down. But you don't need to keep a journal on everything or nothing like that. But for important shit, like agreements, promises, or things that you want to, talk about later, jotting shit down or even audio recording can give you clarity. And yes, I know I sound like the feds when I said audio recording. I know. All right. I know. I promise I never put a nigga in jail. But that type of shit can give you clarity, and you can easily pull that shit up later and be like, nah, bitch, I got the proof right here. You know what I'm saying? And for the times when you're unsure about some shit that was said or something that was promised, you'll have a clear record to refer back to. You know what I mean? And that'll kind of help you avoid being gaslit or avoid being doubted or avoid being talked shit to because they think they're right. You got your proof. You got your proof on everything they said, everything they, did, yada, yada, yada. What more can you ask for? Show them to themselves. Expose them to themselves. Straight up. And if your partner starts to kind of pretend not to remember some shit and it's something important, stay calm. Stay calm, but still bring it up, obviously. For example, you could say some shit like, I remember clearly, very fucking clearly, that we discussed, yada, yada, yada situation. And this is how it happened. And it's important to me that we stay on the same page with this. And I would appreciate it if we could acknowledge what was said. Boom. All right, that's a clear way of getting straight to the fucking point. And if they continue to deny shit or try to gaslight you, it's crucial to stand on that shit. Stay 10 toes down. Stand on that motherfucking shit. You might not. You might even need to say some shit like, I'm not gonna debate what happened, but it's important that we both acknowledge our past discussions to avoid confusion moving forward. Me personally, I've dealt with some shit where I've said, I'm not gonna debate what I know happened. And as soon as you say the words, I know, oh man, you get ready. Put on your body armor, put on your swimsuit, your body armor, your fucking all kind of shit, cause shit finna get sticky. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like a triggering word for a narcissist. I know that I'm right. They're gonna be like, what, bitch? Excuse me, who's the narcissist here, motherfucker? You didn't get the memo? I'm always right. That's why I'm the fucking narcissist. And then you got to deal with the whole shit show. But anyway, yeah, you can say shit like that. And if your partner continues with the bullshit and they continue denying shit or they try to manipulate the conversation, sometimes the best option is to just stop right there. Because arguing with someone who's kind of refusing to acknowledge reality is you're gonna lose that one all day. Like, they're literally battling reality in their own head. Like, what the fuck? That's a lightweight is sounds a bit psychotic. They might need to get checked in to some shit. Because and you got to do that because it only drains your energy, man. Like, if it becomes clear that they're not going to take responsibility for the shit that they that they that they did, their actions, their words, whatever. You need to decide whether this behavior is something you want to tolerate long term. Like, do you want to deal with this shit for the rest of your fucking life? Do you want to deal with this shit for the next 6 months? Shit, the next 3 months, whatever long term is to you, right? But this goes for the ladies, right? But this goes especially for the fellas because we're the ones who get to choose who we marry. So obviously you don't want to marry someone who just brings you constant torment. Someone who can't bring you tranquility, peace, peace of mind, shit like that. Like, this is not what you want to be tied down to. No, not at all. Man, if you have to, go get your passport. But man, that ain't it. Don't settle for that type of shit. And also, ladies too. Like, don't settle for that shit, man. Like, you can literally go get your fucking passport. Go get dicked down by some nigga with a fucking mandingo in the goddamn jungle. Shit. Bet you that nigga treat you good while he jumping through trees, carrying you in one arm. Shit, got coconuts in the other. Shit. About to take you home and suckle your coconuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, right? Like, don't deal with the shit. But if you are choosing to deal with the shit, there's this next one is a big one because when someone interrupts you constantly, or they only listen to respond, not to actually understand, that shit feels fucking frustrating. I know that tap probably doesn't sound very good, so I'm gonna stop doing that. Probably sounds like fucking shit. Especially if you got on headphones. If you got on headphones, my bad. But if you're dealing with someone who interrupts you or is listening only to respond and to not really actually understand what you're trying to say, or you're trying to understand your point or anything like that, that shit is all bad. Because it's like, obviously you're not being heard, but you're obviously also not being fucking respected. They don't even care to hear you. And communication in the relationship becomes more about winning the argument than actually connecting with your person. And that's just only going to lead to a complete shit show. Literally. You guys are just going to be shitting all over each other until you guys are covered in it. That's disgusting. It's fucking sick. Now, one of the first things to do in a situation like this, right, is to set clear expectations for communication. Before you start communicating and shit, you obviously want to set clear expectations for the communication session. Tell your partner that when they interrupt you, it makes you feel invalidated. It makes you feel frustrated. You can say some shit like, I need you to let me finish speaking before responding because it's important to me that I'm heard and understood. And that also could tie into like your own love language. Like some people can't feel loved without also feeling heard and understood. Straight up. Some people are built like that. And if your partner continues to interrupt, you need to gently but very firmly remind them. For example, like let them know, like, hey, I'm not done yet. Please let me finish my point. And make it clear that you're not asking for permission to fucking speak. You're a goddamn adult and you were fucking interrupted. And then sometimes you can just keep talking. They try to interrupt you, don't even stop talking, just keep talking. That can work too. But this is you setting a boundary for respectful communication. or you could just tell them to shut the fuck up. You could always do that, but that's a different story. I'm just fucking around. Don't do that. I don't know why I'm like this, but don't do that. Anyway, sometimes when someone isn't listening, that shit could be stressful, and but it can also be helpful to kind of model the behavior you want to see. So if you want to be listened to, use active listening yourself. Show that you're genuinely interested in hearing what they have to say. For example, you can reflect back what you heard them say before responding. And this not only models better communication, but it can also encourage your partner to engage more thoughtfully. Another thing, when you express your frustration about being interrupted, you should probably do it using I statements to kind of avoid sounding like you're accusing them. Instead of saying, "You never let me speak," you should probably say, "I feel fucking unheard when I'm interrupted before I finish my goddamn thoughts." Okay, leave the cuss words out, but you get the drift, right? Because this kind of keeps the conversation focused on your feelings and your wants and your needs rather than blaming them directly, which can make them feel less defensive if you do that. Because, narcissists are very defensive. This is a very interesting topic, very deep topic, and when you're having these conversations with your partner, and if you're finding that the conversations constantly turn into arguments because your partner is interrupting or only responding to react, you might need to take a break from the conversation. Let them know, hey, I think we need a little time out. I don't feel like we're communicating correctly right now, and we should both take a step back to cool down. This can give both of y'all a chance to reset and come back to the discussion with more patience. Or you can you could always just break up with them, leave, and decide to enjoy your own company, or rely on good friends to fill that void, or go find someone who actually loves you and actually cares for you the way you fucking deserve. Yeah, you could do that too. Hey, that's an option. All right. I know that was a lot. Right? That whole shit was a lot of shit. The whole toilet bowl full of shit. Good shit though. Not the type of shit you want to dip your hand in and fucking start taking bites out of. But I mean, you might mistake it for a Snickers. That type of shit. It's a good shit. But I hope this helped some of y'all, man. Like, straight up. Like, I hope this helped any of y'all who might be dealing with these difficult behaviors in your relationship or your partner or whatever. And I want to remind you that you deserve respect, okay? I don't give a fuck who you are, man. Like, you deserve respect. You deserve love. And you deserve healthy communication in any relationship. These behaviors can be fucking draining, man. And you deserve to for lack of a better term, you just deserve to enjoy your fucking life without someone else's fucking bullshit. Straight up, man. And if you're gonna bring someone into your fucking life, tell them to leave their fucking bullshit the fuck somewhere else, because you're actually enjoying yourself. You're actually enjoying living. You're actually, enjoying shit. You know what I mean? XT Force One, shout out for the follow. Appreciate you. And if you don't, man, if you fail to kind of put a net on the people you bring into your life, that shit is gonna drag you the fuck back down to the ocean fucking floor. And you're gonna be down there with, and on, everybody knows on the ocean floor, it's not just fucking hammerhead sharks and fucking stingrays and shit. It's some real creepy looking fucking creatures, and you might get fucked off like that one Australian guy. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to him. That wasn't like a diss to him or anything, man. I actually watched this shit, Shrimp on the Barbie. It was fucking amazing. But anyway, with that being said, man, I know that, this, everything I'm talking about right now can be a lot to absorb. And I hope it's helpful to anyone who might be struggling with this kind of like relationship dynamic. In navigating a relationship with a partner who has narcissistic traits is fucking hard to do. But I don't give a fuck how hard that shit is to do. You deserve to be treated with kindness. You deserve to be treated with respect, and you deserve to be treated with love. If you're finding it hard to deal with these behaviors, don't hesitate to reach out for support from a therapist. Don't hesitate to reach out for support from, good friends. Don't hesitate to reach out for support from, family members that you can trust. And don't hesitate, if you can't handle, really and thoroughly can't handle the shit, don't hesitate to walk the fuck away. With that being said, thanks for joining me today, y'all, tonight. And I hope this stream gave y'all some insights and some tools for managing your relationship and prioritizing your well-being, and if you have any questions or if this shit resonates with you, feel free to drop me a line in the comments, feel free to, drop me a line in the DMs, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. But with that being said, man, it's your boy Cloudy Wings. That's CLOUDYWINGZ. Take care of yourselves, man. And if you want to come back, and I'll see you next time. Peace.